want to give all praises to Yahweh, Ba'asham, Yahushai, Ba'asham, Rakakodash. We sit over the apostles and elders of agreements and rule well. And salutations to the Akemo, to the pushing the word and truth and sincerity day in and day out, constantly in season, out of season. This is Shalom. Right, let's going into let's start with the scripture one time. This is Acts 4 verse 12. It says, neither is there salvation in any other, for there is none other name under heaven given among men whereby we must be saved. I know this just something in my mind that really and truly we're supposed to be glorifying the Lord's name, which is Yahweh, which is the Father, and Yahushai, which is the Son, right? Because any day if you call himself a Hebrew Israelite, then you would have to be calling the Lord in the proper language, which is the Hebrew, right? So they call on the Lord. And now this is just I was just when they really comment on particular videos and they go into other videos, you see people saying yeah, and you see other people say plenty people just be saying yeah, and yeah just means he, right? And when you go to like other comments, you see like people saying that you don't need to know the name and all these things, and you call it any title and these things, but it's the scriptures state different, because when it didn't say name, it didn't say this, it said name. It said Acts 4 verse 12, it said neither is there salvation in any other, for there is none other name. It didn't say name under heaven given among men whereby we must be saved. Now it are people also, it are particular camps and Israelites also there that went and changed their name to Hebrew, but they don't call on the Lord in a Hebrew tongue, right? They they go and they say they still call him Jesus, which go back to idol worship, and these things, and the ball that you don't need to, and only when the Lord come then you know his name, which is not true, right? Because the scripture again is you all have to go back to the scriptures to prove your point, right? That's why the scriptures say meditate day and night, right? So if it's stating here that there is no other name, right, none other name under heaven given among men whereby we must be saved, and who is these men? These men will be what? Chosen from the Lord, right? To give you all this name, to give you all to show this name. Because remember, going back to the same Acts, the going back to Acts, when they let's roughly go thinking they brought the apostles up and they told them not to teach any name, right? Not to teach any Yahushai, not to teach any name, right? And plenty of these other and plenty of these other camps outside here. What they do is that is basically what they do. What we say they're so loud, right? And they basically what they did was teach all that is you could call on any other name, you could say know these things. You have to know the name, right? If you want to get glory unto the Lord, you had to call on the Lord's name, right? And that will faith come in, right? That is just show you these just are Israelites. They don't have faith, right? A matter of fact, as I write here, it's Acts 5. I'll start from verse 21. It says, and when they heard that they entered into the temple early in the morning and taught, but the high priest came, and they that were with him, and called the council together, and all the senate of the children of Israel, and sent to the prison to have them brought. But when the officers came and found them not in the prison, they returned and told, saying, the prison truly found we shut with all safety, and the keeper standing without before the doors. But when we had opened, we found no man within. It said, now when the high priest and the captain of the temple and the chief priests heard these things, they doubted of them whereunto this would grow, right? It said, then came unto them, saying, behold, the men whom ye put in prison are standing in the temple and teaching the people, right? It said, then went the captain with the officers and brought them without violence, for they feared the people, lest they should be stoned. And when they had brought them, they set them before the council, and the high priest asked them, saying, did not we straitly command you that ye should not teach in this name? And behold, ye fill Jerusalem with your doctrine and intend to bring the man's blood upon us. And there is something with these other camps that we talking about, they don't need to know the name. They don't want blood upon their hands. So that why they teaching all this madness, but they will pay for the things that they're teaching, right? It says, saying, did we not straightly command you that ye should not teach in this name? Right? And behold, ye have filled Jerusalem with your doctrine and intend to bring the man's blood upon us. Right? And that's something even the apostles of GMS do even unto this day. What they did is they preach his name throughout, right? And they constantly mention the name right through, right? Right through. So they fill in Jerusalem, right? They fill in Israel again, right? With his name, with the true name, which is Yahweh Hashem Yahushai, right? I said, then Peter and the other apostles answered and said, we ought to obey God rather than men, and that's right. So it's not about what you saying. It's not about what you saying that you don't need to know the name and these things. You know, you can call on any name. Nah, we ought to obey God, and how to obey God? We ought to obey His words. And if the scriptures say name, it didn't say names, and it say that we gonna know the name, right? Then we had to go. We had to go with what God say, than not what man say, right? So it say, then Peter and the other apostles answered and said, we ought to obey God rather than men. And that is when you know who's the man of the Lord, right? Not just some men outside here that saying, oh, you call on your name like this person. Let's say what you could see you play yogurt, right? Some other camps call them EU and all these sort of things, right? Contrary to what it is. Then it had them just saying yeah, right? But you have to know the name. You have to know the name. You have to call upon the name to be saved, right? Right. So let's go to one more precept. Sirach 17 verse 10, right? This is Sirach 17 verse 10. It say, and the elect shall praise his holy name, right? So it's only the elect really and truly go and call upon the Lord. These rest of people go still remain in the idolatry and these things, calling upon Jesus, calling upon any other name that they want to call upon. But the elect shall know that there is one name, where is one name that they should be saved, and they will praise that name, they will give praise unto that name, right? The elect will do that, right? So you know, with that we give our praises to Yahweh, Baal Shem Yahushai, Baal Shem Rakah Kodash. We see the brothers, the apostles and elders agree, must not rule well, and salutations to the Akim, to the pushing the wood and truth, and the day in and the out, consider in season, out of season. We say Shalom.